Hello, my name's Amelia Woodward and I'm the Hospitality and Catering Technical Advisor here at City and Guilds. In this short presentation, I want to explain the Commis Chef endpoint assessment and the actual assessment practical observation with questions. We'll look at the criteria and explain the starting point, the required documentation and the conditions it must be carried out in, as well as looking at the pass and distinction criteria. Here is the initial meeting form, and this can be found in the recording forms for providers and employers document. This form will be used by the independent endpoint assessor to specify which food preparation, cooking and finishing methods the apprentice will be required to demonstrate during the practical observation with questions. The endpoint assessor completes section A and uploads it to EPA Pro. This is after the initial meeting and they've had a discussion with the apprentice, yourself the provider, please do attend this meeting, and the employer. So by completing section A, the endpoint assessor is issuing the apprentice with 3 preparation, 3 cook and 3 finish methods along with a dietary requirement. The apprentice along with the employer then need to go away and create 2 courses for 2 people which would meet the needs of the workplace. The apprentice must then complete section B within 10 working days, and you must ensure that it is uploaded to EPA Pro along with the recipe specifications for the assessment. The employer representative must confirm that the recipe specifications meet their establishment the workplace needs. And the planning meeting will confirm all of this. So as I said, please do ensure that you attend. I've completed here an example of section A and filled in the methods the apprentice could be allocated. The initial meeting form must be uploaded to EPA Pro before the observation can take place. So please make sure that you check that the dishes the apprentice has identified do actually meet the 3 prep, 3 cook and 3 finish methods alongside the dietary requirement issued by the endpoint assessor. So here is the first set of criteria for the observation: specifications, standards and quality. And I've listed the knowledge, skills and behaviour numbers there on the left hand side. I've then listed the pass and the distinction criteria, and I've highlighted in bold the verbs being used. So you can see within the pass criteria, everything highlighted in bold leads toward the apprentice actually undertaking the practical observation. So demonstrating, managing, demonstrating, prioritising, identifying. And then if you take a look at the distinction criteria, you can see that these are more aligned with potential questions that the endpoint assessor may be asking the Commis Chef. So looking at the next set of criteria, safety, the same is true again. The pass criteria are all about demonstrating and applying the knowledge, skills and behaviours, and the distinction criteria leans more towards questioning with justifications and descriptions being required. To fully prepare your apprentice, you may wish to look at all the criteria and to run through it all with the apprentices, paying particular attention to the distinction criteria and asking them to consider that these are questions and to be able to have some already prepared answers for these should the endpoint assessor be asking questions around these topics. The questioning by the endpoint assessor will take place both during and at times after the assessment, depending upon how the apprentice is progressing through their observation. Obviously, the endpoint assessor will not want to disrupt or make the apprentice feel uncomfortable, so they will choose their timings carefully. Also, if more than one apprentice is being observed that day, then this will also be taken into consideration. The questioning, though, will take place within the full 3 hours that's allocated for the observation with questions. And the endpoint assessor can add an additional 10% discretionary time also. The observation should take place in a normal industrial workplace kitchen. This can be the apprentice's workplace, but if it is, it must be either outside of service hours or in a separate part of the kitchen where the apprentice still has access to all the resources but without anyone interrupting. It can also be undertaken within the college realistic work environment. Wherever the observation takes place, the equipment and food resources must be present to allow the apprentice to produce their chosen and agreed 2 courses for 2 people. Additionally, to ensure that the endpoint assessor can carry out their role effectively, please ensure that a private changing area is available for them to change into their kitchen attire, and also that there is space for them to stand and view all aspects of the observation and take notes. Finally, a reminder that questions will be asked as part of the assessment and that these may be during or after the observation. Thanks for listening to this short presentation. If you need any further help, please do contact me on amelia.woodward@cityandguilds.com.